In a previous video, I gave an overview of branches in Git and GitHub. In this video, I'm going to do a hands-on demonstration using Java and IntelliJ Idea. Now, it's helpful when we do this to have some changes that we want to commit, and I want the focus to be on branches, not so much on those changes. So what I've done to help us prepare is I've written a bit of JavaDoc that we can use in this process. So first of all, let's take a look at our current repository. And one thing you'll notice is that up here in the upper left, you can see all of the branches that are created so far. Right now, we only have one branch, and it's the master branch. And when you're starting a project, that will be your first branch. We can create a new branch here, but we can also create a new branch in our IDE. So let's take a look in our IDE. You see where it says master. Let's click on this, and let's just say new branch. And I'm going to call this one documentation. And create. Now you notice that where it used to say master, it now says documentation. But the nice thing is that both branches are active in this pop-up menu, so we can switch between them as we want. One thing I want to point out though, if we go back to our repository, we still only have one branch because we haven't actually pushed our new branch yet. Now let's make some changes and go ahead and push. So I'm going to run back to IDEA, and I'm also going to grab a bit of JavaDoc. This is the class level JavaDoc. So we'll put this right above the controller statement and paste. And now I'm going to save, right click, git, and let's say commit directory. And we notice there's one change here. And if we double click on this, we can see in green, it will show us what's new. Anything that hasn't changed is in white, and anything that has been removed is in red. I've done a net add here. There's nothing I've removed. So we'll say add our class level JavaDoc. And then let's go ahead and do a commit and push. Commit will commit it to our local file system, and then push pushes it to our remote. No errors, so we'll go ahead and commit and push. Now you see on GitHub, our documentation branch exists because we've pushed it. You can also see it in the drop-down here on the main page. If we click into it, you can see that the branch is one commit ahead of master because we've made this commit on the feature branch, and this feature branch is separate from our master branch. As a matter of fact, if you take a look at our feature branch, our documentation branch, you see add our class level JavaDoc is a commit, and then under that you have add new CRD endpoints. Let's go ahead and switch to our master branch, and you see that that latest commit that was exclusively on that feature branch does not yet exist in master. Okay, good. So at this point, we could continue to work on our feature branch, or we could merge our feature branch back into master, or we could do several other things. One thing that's interesting though is what if we're down here in our feature branch and we realize that we need a change to the master branch? Can we do some work into that master branch and then merge it into our feature branch? Well, indeed we can. Let's click on here from documentation. Let's click back to master, and let's say checkout. Notice in master, when I go to plant diary controller, it does not have that JavaDoc on top of the class. Let's watch something interesting here. Let me grab some of this JavaDoc here, create a new specimen object. Let me copy this, and I'm going to put this over our create endpoint, which is our post mapping, and paste and save. And now I'm going to right click and git. Well, let's do commit directory. That'll be fine. And once again, commit and push. And commit and push is fine. Now, one thing I want to point out on this push screen is you see the word master here. That way we can confirm that we are pushing to the master branch. And so the master word there is the name of the branch. You can name the branch whatever you want. As a matter of fact, when we push to our documentation branch, that's going to say documentation. Now, origin here, that's referring to the location of the remote system we're pushing to. So origin is my nickname for GitHub, and that's typically the first nickname that you'll have, but we could certainly make others as well. Let me go ahead and choose push. Now, if we take a look at the documentation branch, we see add our class level JavaDoc. And if we open that up, we'll see that we have the JavaDoc above the class. Now let's switch to the master branch. I realize I made a little mistake here, not fatal, but I didn't change the commit message. So the commit messages are the same, but we can look at the source and we can realize that in the master branch, I put the JavaDoc over the post mapping. So in this point, we have the exact same file in two different branches with two different changes. So how do we put them together? Well, what we can do is we can come back to IntelliJ Idea. We can switch back to our documentation branch and say checkout. So now our work is effectively back in the documentation branch. Now from here, let's go to master and let's look at a neat feature that we have here, merge into current. That means take those changes from master, merge them into our current branch, which is our documentation branch. So we say OK, and then we get the confirmation message, merged master to documentation. Now let's take a look at Plant IRE controller. We have the Java doc that's above the class. We go down to post mapping and take a look. We have the Java doc above post mapping too. So at this point, we've merged the two together. If we take a look at our repository, I haven't pushed anything yet, so it's still going to remain as it was before, where the master branch and the documentation branch have the same file with some differences. We'll sync those up in just a minute, but I'll tell you what, let's add one more piece of Java doc, which is our fetch Java doc. We will put this above our Git mapping that takes a specific ID, and then we'll save. Now I'm going to right-click and choose Git, and remember, we're still in the documentation branch. We see that. I'm going to commit and push this up to GitHub. So we'll say add Java doc to Git mapping. And commit and push. Now, take a look here. Remember, this is a little bit different than what we saw before, where we had master and then an arrow and then origin master. This time we're saying we're pushing from our local documentation branch to the documentation branch that's on our origin repository, where origin is github.com. Now, take a look. There's several things that we're pushing here. Several commits we're pushing, including the merge of master. So let's go ahead and choose push. Now if we take a look at the master branch, we see that we haven't committed anything for a little while, basically since we added that post Java doc. So we have a total of 5 commits. But now let's take a look in our documentation branch, this feature branch. And we see number 1, this branch is 3 commits ahead of master, and it's kind of giving us a hint here. It's saying, do you want to create a pull request? Pull request will pull these 2 branches together. But first of all, let's see what we're going to be pulling into master. So we know we had our add class level Java doc. We had the merge of master into our feature branch, where now we're going to take feature and merge it back to master. And then we have this brand new commit that we just made, add Java doc to a Git mapping. Now let me address something really quickly before we jump into this merge. Why did I merge from master into the feature branch and from the feature branch back into master? Well, you don't always have to merge from master into the feature branch. And you don't even have to always merge the feature branch back into master. What will typically happen is you'll work in a feature branch. When you're done with that work, then you'll merge that feature branch into master. On the other hand, you might work for a little bit and then realize that you're not getting what you want, or maybe priorities have changed and you no longer need that feature, so you can simply orphan the branch and never merge back into master. But why would you ever want to merge master into a feature branch? Well, many times one developer or a small group of developers will be working in an individual feature branch, and other developers will be working in another feature branch. And if they want kind of a checkpoint to see how they're synchronizing, they can use this as an opportunity to merge from one branch to another. Additionally, by doing this merge from master into a feature branch, it keeps that feature branch closer in sync with master, and it makes the future merge a lot easier because the two are coming from a more common base, as opposed to if you had written a feature branch and then the feature branch and master never synchronized for 3 months or some long period like that, you might find that it's hard to merge because the two have completely changed. So anyway, let's go ahead and start this merge process, and it's going to begin with a pull request. Now, I want you to take a mental screen capture of the commit history of both of these different branches first, which is why I showed them, the 5 commits in master and the 8 commits in documentation, because the outcome of this merge is we're taking documentation and we're putting it into master. First, let's start the pull request. The pull request doesn't actually merge any code. It simply kicks off the process to merge the code. So we'll start with this screen. We'll leave a little bit of information like add Java doc to our controller. And then we'll go ahead and create pull request. And remember, this is not actually doing the merge, just setting us up to do the merge. One really nice thing about a pull request is it allows us to have a discussion alongside of source code without actually polluting the source code with any comments. Now we can see the pull request has been created. I can go ahead and click into the pull request. And here's the neat part. I click on Files Changed and take a look. You can see in green everything that's changed, in white anything that's not changed, and in red anything that has been removed. Green is actually a net add. But look at when I mouse over. Do you see the little plus here? and I can click and drag, and then I can place a comment that says something like, really good Java doc, but do you want to include a code sample? Something to that effect, and then I can say add single comment. The nice thing about this is it allows us to have an interactive conversation without actually polluting the code with our comments. Comments that we have in code should really focus around JavaDoc like this, which is describing the API documentation. It should not be a conversation among developers. Conversation among developers, save here for the pull request. Speaking of which, let's navigate back to the Conversation tab. And towards the bottom, we see an option to merge the pull request. We see one other thing that we really like here, which is this branch has no conflicts with the base branch, which means that the merge can happen automatically for us. We don't have to do any other intervention. We also see a little nudge here to set up continuous integration, which is definitely a good idea. But for now, let's go ahead and choose merge. And we can say, and confirm merge. Great, it's merged. And we see with the purple it's been merged. Let's go back now and take a look at our master branch. Wow, look at this. Remember, our master branch used to have only 5 commits. Now it has 9 commits. And take a look at the sequence of events. This was something that was on master. This was on documentation. This was on master. Then we took master, merged it into documentation. We added one more thing to documentation. We took documentation and we merged it back into master. At this point, you can see that master has all of these changes. But we do still need to synchronize our local environment, so let's go ahead and go back to the master branch again and say check out. If we take a look at this, oh gosh, okay, well we take a look at this and we see there's only JavaDoc over the post endpoint, where we know we've added JavaDoc over the get endpoint and also over the controller. Well, we have not yet pulled those changes down to our local. That merge happened up on GitHub. Remember, we just did all that through the web interface on GitHub. It doesn't automatically come down to our own repository on our local computer until we tell it to. So for that, let's navigate to View, and then Tool Windows, and then we can say Git. And there's several ways to get here. You can also just find the shortcut right down here. You can see that master looks like it did before we did the pull request, because we simply have our new change at our class level JavaDoc. And then the documentation branch shows that it started with master's history, and then we made our own change in our documentation branch. We also made a change in master, and then we merged master into documentation, and then we made yet one more change in documentation branch. So this is kind of neat because it shows how we made changes in 2 different branches and then we merged them together. However, it doesn't reflect the current state on GitHub. So let's go back to our project, right-click, choose Git, and then repository. Let's simply choose a pull, which means update me locally from what's happened remotely. Now, take a look here. I like this command box it gives us. It lets us choose our remote, which we're going to stick with origin, and it also lets us choose our branch. You notice documentation and master. Well, remember, we've merged documentation into master, so master is currently the latest and greatest. Let's go ahead and pull master. Now look at the graph. Notice that it's updated since I did that pull, and this is kind of cool. Now remember, we're looking at master. So we start with the commits we had when we only had master. Then we had the new feature branch for documentation, which was represented in purple here. Then we had the change that we made in master. We had our merge of master into our feature branch to get those updates from master. We had our latest change in our feature branch. But now take a look at this. This little line in this circle indicates that we took those changes from our feature branch and we merged them into master. Let's take a look at our plant diary controller, and if everything worked right, and sure enough it did, we have JavaDoc above the class, which was the first thing that we added. We have JavaDoc above the post mapping, which is what we added in master and then merged to documentation. And then we have JavaDoc above the Git mapping, which we put in our documentation branch and then merged everything into master. And just so we can confirm here, we see all 3 of the changes that we made in this one file, but take a look over here. You see we have it all in the master branch. So now what do we do with the documentation branch? Well, we could just leave it, or we could delete it. Since it's all been merged into master now, we could delete it and clean it up. For my purpose, though, I'm just going to leave it. So I hope this hands-on view of branches in Git and GitHub was helpful, and I look forward to reading your comments. Thank you.